Hey, what's up guys, this is Mac. Welcome to NCR India free video channel on YouTube. Here in this tutorial I'm going to talk about for loop. Okay, so before telling about the for loop, I would like to introduce array to you. What is an array? Array is basically the collection of some same type of values, data values. It could be a same type, if it could be a collection of integer type values, it could be a collection of character type values, it could be a collection of floating point numbers, right? In that way we'll have to declare an array. If you want to use an array, you will have to declare the array. Now for declaring an array, you will have to specify the type of the array. Let's say it is an integer type array. Okay, now write the name of your array. It's arr. Now you'll have to specify the square bracket after the name of this array or before the name of this array. I'm using after the name of this array, right? Now it shows the arr square bracket shows that you are declaring an array, right? If you won't have used this square bracket, so obviously this is the declaration of simple integer variable, so there has to be some difference. Now for making that difference, you will have to specify the square bracket either before or after the name of your array, the way I did here. Okay, and the second thing comes in mind, if this array is the collection of some integer type values, so then what is the size of this array, at how many values it can contain, right? So it depends upon you can actually specify the size in two ways. The first way is that you can supply the values directly to this array like that, or this is the first way, right? And why is it not necessary to specify the size of this array inside these square brackets? Because this is understood. We have supplied the 10 elements. Now the array knows that compiler knows that it contains the space of 10 elements, right? So now the space of the 10 elements is being allocated to these elements, to these values. Now these values being stored in the array called arr. Now second thing comes in mind, that how to access each of these elements. Now let's say if I wanna access the element 5, how can I access this value from this array? Now for that, you should know that where is this element located in the array. For that, you should know the index number of the arrays, right? The index number of the arrays start from the 0 and end with the number of values. That if we are containing the 10 number of values, it end with the within the 10 values. It means it will start from 0 and it will reach to the 9 for this array. Now let's say the arr 0 refers to the first element of the array, and similarly this arr1 refers to the second element of array, and in that way arr9 refers to the 10th element of array. If you want to confirm it, then you can do this. Print these values on screen. The first element as well as the last element. Plus, and I'm also putting a space between these two variables, values, arr9, right? Now you will be having the first element and the 10th element of this array on screen. Run this program. The first value is 1 and the last value 10th, it is 10, right? So after that, now let's talk about for loop. Now here in this program, I'm going to introduce a for each version of the for loop. As you know that we have already discussed the basic version of for loop in our previous program, user menu calculator. In that case, I have used this syntax for loop. The first part has to be the initialization, where second part was conditional part, and the last part was counter part, where the variable of this for value uh, was incremented, or you can even decrement the value here dynamically. And let me tell you that in the for each version you don't need to specify any counter at all, right? So let's talk about the for each version. In the for each version you should have uh, another variable. Let's say it is int. I'm going to make n for this array, which will traverse this variable n, will traverse through this array arr. Now specify the name of the array on which you want this variable to traverse, right? Now this is the way you will have to write your for loop for the array arr. Okay. Now in the second case, let's say I want to print these values which is contained in this array. Now for printing these values, obviously I will to use it like that: system dot out dot print line, right? Now put the first value. It could be any value like that. All you need to specify the x. All the value will be contained in the variable called x. This is an integer value x. System dot out dot print line. I'm sorry, not x. It is n here. In this case, I used the n. So all the values will be shown on screen with the variable name n. And in the first case, when the loop will run, in the first case, n will be showing the value, will be containing the first value of this array, which is 1. And in the second loop, this will be containing the value 2. And the third execution, the third time when this loop will execute, this and will show you the third value of this array, right? So let's run this program and see the output. Now you can see it has printed all the 10 values of this array. So it means that n is a variable which is being traversed through this array arr, every element, and it will be containing the first element during the time of the first execution, right? When the execution will start, this element n will be having the value 1, and in that way it will be, after each execution, it will execute 10 times, which depends upon the size of the array, because the array containing 10 elements, right? And every time this variable n will traverse to the next element, right, like that. So during the first execution it has printed 1. During the second time it has printed 2. In that way it is being traversed to the whole array like that. Okay, so that's all about this for this tutorial. I'm gonna talk about more about the arrays and even your control statements in the next tutorial. So keep watching, don't miss any tutorials. And the one more thing, please do make comments after my videos, and if you like our channel, then please subscribe for it. Thank you.